Welcome, friends. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Welcome to the Optimal Health Program. Always fun to chat with you on a Saturday. We know our big and bright and bold and beautiful, our big, beautiful Rumble audience is here.
It's beautiful.
Big,
Hello,
beautiful.
LFA TV. Let's go.
Yes, live from America. We love to chat with you and get your calls and questions and such. 888-420-9272 if you'd like to call and ask a question. Otherwise, you can go directly to Frankie.
Go right in the
The
chat,
superstar
guys.
on the board.
I see you, Susan. Always
He's
the
like a
first in the
DJ
chat.
without the cool music, and we're just spinning thoughts here today instead of music.
I'm on the ones and twos. As they say.
So certainly send us a note, and we'll take your questions, and we'll chat. A lot of cool stuff to talk about today. So over the years, researchers have always been looking at a way to decrease, quote, aging or damage or degeneration of the human body. And of course, we know that eating right, and we'll talk about what that really means, exercise, has anti-aging potential because you're flooding your cells with oxygen, vitamins, minerals, and hormones, especially if you're testing and correcting those things. There have been medications over time that have thought to be beneficial. The thought is that aspirin baby aspirin, small dose, may decrease the risk of certain cancers of the bowel. So that's been in literature for a long time. Metformin, a medication that's used to help to control blood sugar in diabetics, similarly has been described to have anti-aging potential. And it does make sense because you're decreasing the excess damage that sugars can cause. I've spoken many times about glycation, which is a process where too much sugar damages proteins, fats, hormones, blood vessels, nerves, organs throughout the body. And that's why diabetics have so many big problems to deal with because the sugar is just going crazy, causing a lot of damage. I think that if we talk about metformin versus low-carb diet, exercise, and all the different things that I do, this makes a great deal more sense than just taking metformin and expect it to do everything, because it won't. There are some great studies, and two meds we'll talk about today. One is rapamycin, and this has been around for a long time. And this is a drug that has been used to protect and improve your immune response. So it's an immunomodulator. Early on, it was thought to be an immunosuppressive, but it is not. It repairs and enhances your body's ability to fight and kill things. And as we say, it modulates immunity. When they've given the rapamycin to mice in many different studies, and I'm going to read through this lengthy sort of article and publication so you could understand what this means. This was published in the Anti-Aging Journal and also published online, National Library of Medicine, NIH. So serious information here. The mice that were given the rapamycin lived 3 times longer than the mice that were not given rapamycin in this big study. And as I say, many studies over many years, at least 20 to 30 years, this has been under the microscope, as it were. So research also describes it inhibits viral replication. As a noteworthy example, rapamycin inhibits replication of the 1918 flu virus, the deadliest virus known in history, by 100-fold. Protects against lethal infection with influenza when administered. So a variety of doctors have been looking at rapamycin and talking about this for a very long time.
Question from the chat. I just
Yep.
want to know, is it a drug, a supplement? What is it?
It's a medication. It's a drug. And it's in the class of something called mTOR inhibitors, small m, capital TOR inhibitors. Sirolimus is the other name for it, but rapamycin, RAPAMYCIN. 20 years ago, it was thought it might decrease the risk of cancer in significant ways and pathways, and this has described that. And several studies subsequently have described that it's decreasing the risk of a variety of cancers. Metabolic effects or benefits, helps your body burn sugar and fat better. It decreases insulin resistance. And as I go onward, there are lots of citations in this study, covering a wide range of different topics, which would be hard to go through the entirety of it. I just want to make it, clear that this is a medication that's something that has been used a great deal of. There's no risk or side effect, especially when you're using it once a week, which is typically the anti-aging recommended dose. And of course, in many other studies with animals and otherwise, they've used the medication daily. But what has come out of all of this research is to use 12 milligrams once a week. And some people might use it twice a week, but I think it's an important concept because it creates so much benefit for your body. There's even a comment towards the end of the article, which is interesting, curious. And it talks about people that smoke. And the people that smoke obviously are creating a lot of damage in their body. But as you get older, if you're not taking rapamycin, you might be subject to the same amount of damage to your body as that would be of a smoker. Very interesting. Thousands of scientists have been working independently all over the world, studying mTOR and its other class of inhibitors on different organisms for anti-aging purposes. So this is not something that's just, hey, maybe this or maybe that. They talk about decreasing the risk of disease, including cancer, obesity, atherosclerosis, neurodegeneration. So I tell people to get online and take a look and learn about it.
Someone just wants to know what the actual term anti-aging truly reflects.
So anti-aging is a simple and easy term. I think it's been used appropriately in some ways and not appropriately in other ways. You want to decrease the degeneration and damage of your cells and allow your cells to work better for a longer period of time. So senescence is aging and decline of cells. As we all get older, some people age faster than others, and you can see this visibly in some people. Smokers typically have more damage and aging of their skin around their mouth because of that exposure. And obviously, internally, people that smoke will have lungs that look horrible when you look at some of the studies. But age-related changes occur in a variety of ways. The idea that if you can take vitamins and those vitamins will protect your cells and improve your cell function, and we could look at someone and say, hey, your hormones are low, let's walk you back to where you were 10 or 15 years ago. So now those hormones are there and doing the job they did 10 or 15 years ago and keeping your body functioning well makes a great deal of sense. If we talk about telomeres, the ends of our genes, and how snipping off the telomeres occurs with age and cell changes, if we can protect the telomeres, as research shows with rapamycin and with methylene blue, then you want to be able to protect those cells so they'll stay healthier for a longer period of time. If the other part of the picture is as you're losing cells in every part of your body as you get older, you take your own cells and put them to play by using your own stem cell therapy, those cells will become brand new liver, kidney, heart, pancreas, gut, brain, eye, etc., joint cells. So you're putting new cells on board to make those organs younger. So that's the ultimate anti-aging mechanism. So each of these areas, and the anti-aging concept in my mind is to get your body to work better like it used to, specifically with correcting hormones, vitamins, and minerals, getting your body to work better day to day by doing exercise, because you're getting rid of waste products of metabolism and you're delivering nutrients and hormones to all your cells. So everything you can do to protect your body, make it work better, in my realm is anti-aging. And we've seen people that go from really horrible function to really wonderful function once we put all this in place. So it's an absolute. It's not something that, well, maybe this or maybe that. You could look at populations all over the world that have great diets, lots of exercise. They live longer and healthier, and they don't have the medical problems that people on the typical Western diet have in terms of percentages and risks and progression of disease. So, there are more diabetics here with 1.5 million new diabetics every year, occurring more so than anywhere else in the world because our diet is so bad. So low-carb exercise helps with that. Correcting vitamins, minerals, hormones, using some of the anti-aging protocols is perfect for that. Stem cell, perfect for that. So Where I don't like the term anti-aging is where companies are making creams and making you think that some plant extract is going to anti-age your skin. It may make it look shinier, glossier, look a little bit more plumped, but you're not putting new cells there to improve your skin or to create a result where your skin cells are doing better or lasting longer. And that's why we want to make a distinction between the anti-aging quote cream or anti-aging claims for some of these things that doesn't really exist. So we have to talk about anti-aging as a specific improvement in cells, tissues, and organs, reversal of damage and degeneration. If we can get your pancreas to work better and make more insulin, you're controlling that sugar excess sugar that's going to cause the damage. So there's a lot into that term, and that's a perfect question to ask because everyone should understand the realities of anti-aging and how we can protect your body and keep those cells and tissues and organs healthier longer. So
we got someone in the chat who got in an argument in a barbecue a couple weeks back regarding methylene blue.
Really?
They said that the other person they were arguing with called it a total scam created by RFK, and she would like some clarification.
Well, RFK is not that old. Methylene blue, and I have a ton of great research on it here, has been around for a very long time. And obviously people that are trying to associate it with only RFK Jr. are really, really wrong. Methylene blue went back to the 1800s. It was used as a dye in textiles and in surgical markings in 1876. I mean, if RFK Jr. is that old, he looks phenomenal for that age. But 1870s, go back to that barbecue or go back to those people. And you have to look this up online because you'll find out. You'll see it. So the small molecular weight of methylene blue allows it to be delivered fast to your tissues. It is a great antioxidant, and that's what was figured out relatively early on. It's an FDA-approved medicine and is used for malaria, for methemoglobinemia, progeria, that rapid aging disorder that you see that looks horrible when you look at these young individuals that have it. It works in the mitochondrial electron transport chain, really important for energy, really important for free radical binding. So it's heavily researched because it goes back to 1878. So reactive oxygen species, which can damage your tissues, are inhibited by that. It also can help keep NAD around longer, and NAD is wonderful for your cells in your brain. NAD is responsible for taking oxygen and making it into 36 molecules of ATP. So there's a lot of great information that simple research, can show. And although a lot of this is heavy-duty research for me to run through and talk to you about, when you go to look at a study on Google Scholar and plug in NAD or methylene blue uses or methylene blue benefits, go to the abstract, read the abstract, you'll be able to understand it. Go to the conclusion in the abstract paragraph, and it'll tell you roughly what the article, says and the research describes. So there are a variety of wonderful things that methylene blue can do. With brain aging, here's a whole section in this article talking about mitochondrial dysfunction, allowing loss of neurons. But methylene blue helps to improve, stabilize, and prevent the mitochondrial dysfunction. And we know that when methylene blue is given, it seems to want to get into the brain and stay there to create its result, which is perfect, which is genius. So it's great for mitochondrial function, great for enhancing neurologic dysfunction and improving neurologic disorder. It works with CoQ10, it works in the cytochrome system. The list of associates that work with methylene blue when it's on board is pretty significant. It's a good list of nutrients and other antioxidants. Great for your skin. And there are little photographs and pictures here. So suffice it to say that it can work in a variety of different tissues. And when it works in your mitochondria, you have mitochondria in every cell. You need all of that and more to be able to improve your function. So Let's review, class.
They also said they wish they had your phone number for the moment when they needed you.
What's that?
With the troll at the barbecue.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, hey, you can go back to that troll or somehow reach out. And now at least everybody can get some info on methylene blues. So if you study a little bit, you go to the barbecue, you'll be the genius.
Boom.
You'll be the Nikola Tesla of the barbecue. Or the Einstein, whichever you prefer. But so once again, let's rewind. Think of doing a blood test to learn about your body, correcting your vitamins, minerals, and hormones, maybe cutting your carbs, doing more exercise. If your thyroid is dropping down and maybe it didn't get low yet, but the tracing and the trend in your blood test is showing that, great, then we know that soon we may have to help to fine-tune and fix your thyroid. Maybe add some iodine on board. If DHEA, testosterone, IGF-1 are low, and IGF-1 is a really important hormone. It's like a mother hormone that sets the stage for the others. Correcting IGF-1, which is the active component of growth hormone, is great for memory, focus, concentration, sleep, because your neurotransmitters are made better as a result of having good levels of IGF-1 like you've had your whole life up until your 30s or 40s when your levels drop. Great for exercise, strength, endurance, repair, hair, skin, nails, all of these things. So if you look at all of that, and then you add on the exercise, you add on methylene blue and rapamycin, you're doing a lot for your body to keep it functioning as well as humanly possible now and then going forward. And as we track what we do, because this is what I've always done, if we put you on a vitamin pack, where in the morning you get your pack, in the evening you have another pack to take, and then we recheck your blood for your vitamins after being on the nutrients for a month, and your levels are perfect, great. So we're proving that your body's getting to exactly where you need. And then there are ways to do tasking to see that your brain is working faster or better. If we use NAD, etc., you'll get benefit from that. So this is all making your body healthy as opposed to watching it decline.
Someone just got a question about, is IGF-1 able to be detected through a blood test, like your levels?
Yeah. IGF-1 is a direct blood test. So that's the active component. So when you're a kid, your levels are super high, more so than ever in the rest of your life. But you go from being a little baby, a bouncing baby, to an adult in probably 14, 16, 18, 19 years or so. And your height is dependent upon the IGF-1. Basketball players have a ton of it. That's why they're so tall, because their bones are growing fast before the bone end plate closes. People that are shorter have a lot less of it. And if we're looking at IGF-1 and we look decade to decade, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, as you watch it drop, you see all of these things change. Sleep is not as good. Hair, skin, nails change. Thinning of the hair. Nails are not growing as fast. Memory, focus, word retrieval, concentration. You walk into a room, you forget why you're there. You lose your car keys. You don't know where they are, etc. Your sunglasses are on your head and you can't find them. All these crazy and odd things. You're at the gym, you're working out like a dog, but you just can't get that, strength or that increase in size, etc. That's because your body has lost the things that allow those things to happen. So that's common. So bringing that back in small amounts, your body will have great result.
Someone just asking, are researchers looking at IGF-1 therapies for things like Alzheimer's or other mind issues?
Absolutely. That's been going on for a long time. And I think if you look at, and a lot of what I do, as I'm trying to say, is give your body what you've always had. Let's just walk you back to where you had more of it. IGF-1, NAD, thyroid, testosterone, etc., vitamins. So in a way, you can't look at giving a drug for a disorder and expect it to work, especially if the other things that you need are not corrected. If a person's got a huge amount of aluminum on board because they've been exposed their whole life, aluminum directly correlates with dementia, memory loss, and Alzheimer's, absolutely. Like cadmium correlates with breast cancer, so benzene and leukemia. So there are so many connections that we know of. We need to look for these things, and if they're there, get them out of the body. You can take whatever meds you want for dementia, memory loss, and Alzheimer's, but if you still have too much aluminum on board, you won't get any result. And overwhelmingly, every patient that I know probably has someone in their family with some of these disorders They know the meds just don't work. They don't do anything. But you've got to find the cause and change the cause. So yeah, correcting the IGF-1 is always important. You've always had it. You've had it your whole life to do all sorts of great things. You can't just let it dissipate and lose function.
Are there natural ways to increase IGF-1, like certain foods or exercise types, or is it?
There's no food or exercise that will do that. However, I think when you do the exercise, and you do a good amount of exercise, combination of, weights and cardio, etc., you're going to deliver all of these great hormones to those cells, and you see those cells benefit. If you were to take IGF-1, or if you were to take anything really, testosterone, thyroid, even some of the female hormone correction, and you don't do activity, you're not going to feel the benefit as if you do the activity, because the delivery needs to be there. If a shot of testosterone is going into your butt muscle, your glute, and a person doesn't do activity, it'll sit there. It'll slowly infuse and get to your body. But if you're doing the exercise, it goes and it works and it creates that result. And people feel the strength, the endurance, the mood benefit, the sexual drive and function. So you always have to have the exercise. I tell people all you need to do is a half hour every day of walk. Walk around your house, walk around the block, go 3 blocks down, make a left, go to do laps around the school, track, whatever you can do something every day. Indoor bike, outdoor bike, elliptical, whatever. But you want to do something every day.
And make it brisk.
Yeah.
If I learn one thing from the doc.
Yeah, the more you pump the blood around, the better you'll do.
Oh, crap. My computer just froze. Keep it going,
Your
Doc.
computer needs a little bit of a jolt of something. It needs a little anti-aging care.
Just give me a moment.
Okay. We'll let you get the calls back on track.
Oh, there we go. All right. We're going to lose the timer for a bit.
Yeah, who needs a timer?
All right.
We exist in a dimension beyond time, beyond space. In a world.
Your voice is perfect for that, by the way.
I know. I always thought I wanted to do that. In a world separate from time and space.
All right. To the chat, I don't have you yet. All right. I got black screens. So give me a moment. If you want to go into our next topic.
Work our way back to that. So, yeah, we talk about a variety of things, and there's no better way to make recommendation than to learn about your body. So I see people that have gone online to buy things online, and there are companies who are making combination products and medications and vitamins and peptides, and people are going and just sort of throwing things down their throat to try to see the result. And if you don't know the dosing, if you don't know what to take and when and how, you're not going to get the benefit from it. That's why we want to learn about your body first and then make the recommendations, because we need to see the specific either dysfunction in your system or why your body's not doing the things that it should be doing. And then once we make recommendation, recheck those abnormals, whether it's a blood test or whether it's a specific type of function, and then prove the benefit. Are we back?
We're back, baby.
Back and better
Getting
than ever.
back on. I'm crawling under desks and stuff. You guys don't know what's going on in the background. I just hit my head on a TV. I'm seeing stars. We're back, baby. Just give me a second to get my Chrome up. Sorry, guys. It's showbiz.
It's true.
Get this going.
Any other comments or questions?
Yeah, hold on.
We spoke the other day about the importance of sleep. Really super important to get a lot of sleep because your body repairs while you sleep. And in a perfect world when you're young, you're making your hormones when you go to sleep so that they can go and do their job. And your body's not terribly active when you sleep, except for some people who just move around and jump all over the place. But your body's minimally active, and you're able to get all of your hormones out to your tissues to be able to create their benefit. People who don't sleep well, their brain's not working well. Your brain gives signals to the rest of your body. That becomes a little bit distorted. So you want to get good, deep REM sleep.
I got the chat back. What's up, guys? Sorry about that, but I'll just shout out CFAM54 said that my first time seeing the LFA weekend stream. Love it. Said I'm getting ready to swim with some laps. Took the pup out for a little hike.
There you go.
We're pup people here.
Got to do it. We love dogs.
Welcome to the
I
optimal.
love cats too, but dogs are more connected.
More our speed. Welcome to the
I
optimal.
have two
health
big
program.
dogs. I know you've got a couple, but it's hard to take big dogs out for a walk because they either want to go real fast, and God forbid they see a squirrel or something, they'll be yanking and dragging you down the street. It's hard enough to have one big dog. We have two big dogs. You can't hold them in one hand because they'll yank your arm out of its socket.
You basically have horses, so you got a whole different.
Once Delilah sees something, and she just said the same thing with Zeus, they lock onto something. I'm like, oh no. Then I got to have one in each hand. It's sort of like managing a team of sled dogs that are just want to go wild.
We got a question in the chat. How much sleep should an adult get?
So a lot of studies over the years talk about a minimum of 6 to 7 hours of sleep. It would be nice to get 8 or 9 hours of sleep for some people. It really depends. So I know some individuals that don't need a lot of sleep and they're super highly functioning. I just think they still need to have more sleep. So it should be around 7, 8 hours of sleep. I tell people to go to bed earlier, to turn off your phone, TV, put that funny little thing over your eyes, black out your room. Don't be, interrupted by anything, and get your good sleep in. Have chamomile tea before you go to bed. You can use any of the natural sleep improving substances, valerian, passiflora. As I say, chamomile, there are some companies that make herbal combinations that work well. You can take a little gummy. And there are gummies and there are gummies. So there are gummies that are just herbs and melatonin. There are gummies that have a little bit of go-go juice in it, a little THC in it, which some people use with great result, and they sleep really well. Why not?
Getting more and more popular.
Yeah. So if that, helps more than other things, then I would use that. Certainly rather use that more than sleeping pills, because the pills have addictive potential. They'll have side effects. Some people have really weird dreams. But yeah, if you can use some of the more natural things, that makes a great deal of sense. And just completely zone out. Clear everything from your mind, whichever way you need to do that. You can count sheep. You can count alligator. You can count anything you want. That's sort of a little side joke, but you can count anything you want just to get your mind off of all the aggravation you've had the whole day. So that's what you want to do.
And I'll just say, you got a beautiful dog. I can see your pup. All right. This looks like is it a black lab? Got some clipped ears. Beautiful dog. We love it.
Awesome. Labs are fun. My friend had labs over the years. My friend Tom and his wife and their kids, their 4 kids, and either labs are very cool and sedate or they're just completely bonkers. They had one that was just bonkers, and the dog just loved me. Every time I would go there, the dog would be flying across the room at me. I'm like, whew. I had to learn how to duck out of the way. But yeah, and they're great. And sometimes it's a lot when they have a lot of energy. Like Delilah was just a huge, big ball of fluffy energy, and she still is to some extent. Or she'll sneak up behind me and jump on my back, or she'll just put her head through my legs and then turn around and look up at me, and I got to scratch her and do all these things. But it's fun. It's adorable. Sometimes it's a little much, but yeah.
Especially when they're as tall as you, Doc.
Yeah.
On two legs, one of his dogs, Delilah, is probably as tall as me.
Yeah, absolutely. She's as tall as I am. The funny thing is, when she puts her head from behind me between my legs and she looks up for me to acknowledge her, like I'm not acknowledging a gigantic dog that's just almost knocking me down, and I scratch her ears and stuff, she loves that. She'll move back and forth, and the height of her back, her spine, is higher than my inseam. I wear 32 inseam pants, but she's higher than that. So she's just, bucking me like a bronco. And I have to figure out which leg to throw over the side to get off of her. But she's a character.
Wait, I was so wrong. Listen to this. Their dog is a Dutch-Belgian German Shepherd Pit Chinook mix. Chinook?
Wow.
With white spots.
How does that happen?
What a combo.
Either something happened at the doggy daycare or That's a combination of dogs that I've never heard of.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That'd be cool to see. Yeah, there's some amazing different shepherd varieties. I know people that have Australian shepherds that are gorgeous. They're not big, but gorgeous, spotted color, spotted coat. Then there's these Anatolian shepherds. Have you seen those?
The ones that climb like the trees, or
Yeah, well, those are Belgian Malinois, so it's kind of in a similar family, but look up Anatolian shepherd. They're like Turkish shepherds. They're like 350-pound, horse dogs, because they're as big as a horse. I'm like, that's a shepherd too? Yeah. I don't know if you could pop that on the screen, but they are super, super giant dogs.
Doctor, what are your thoughts on intermittent fasting?
So intermittent fasting has turned out to be an interesting technique. A lot of people do it. They get really good results with it. So I'm a fan of it as long as you have great vitamin levels and your hormones are good and you're doing your exercise. Intermittent fasting, typically people do not have anything for breakfast. Some people might have tea, but they'll only eat in a certain amount of time, 6 hours or so. So if they're not eating until 3 in the afternoon or 2 in the afternoon and they eat from 2 to 6 or 8 o'clock, that's their zone of intake. If they keep the carbs down, their body will burn sugar beautifully, burn cholesterol, triglycerides, fat beautifully. They could bring their weight down. But it is really all about making sure your body has all of the things that it needs to maintain health, like your vitamins. If you're doing intermittent fasting and your vitamins are low, that's a risk. It's not good. If you're not getting enough fiber in and you're constipated, that's one potential issue with some people. Some people like the carnivore diet, just want to have meat all day. I know I couldn't really do that because I love vegetables and stuff and eggplant and peppers and all the Italian things. But you can do different things. It's just as long as your blood test shows that you're doing better and you're in a healthy state, then I wouldn't mind that. Because if other types of diets haven't worked for those people, they need to lose the weight and burn down the cholesterol, the sugars, etc., then good. But it's got to be done in the right way.
Love the questions, by the way. We
Great
love the
questions.
chat. It's a holiday weekend, and we appreciate you tuning in.
That's true. We know lots of people are out and about. Hopefully they're not stuck in their cars traveling all over the place.
Which type of vitamins for a lady? That's our next question.
For a lady?
For our rumblers.
Well, any man or woman is going to need to have C, D, K2, CoQ10, a little bit of fish oil, a probiotic. We'll obviously test for magnesium, potassium, calcium, all the minerals, but that usually comes together within a multivitamin. So usually we'll put together vitamin combinations that start with a multi. Then based on the blood test, we add those other things according to what the blood test shows. Some people need more magnesium than others. Some people need more C or D than others. So we want to have to use the blood test to guide us as to what to give. Because you randomly take a multi and only a multi, you're probably going to miss out on a lot. You certainly want all your other vitamins to be on board, but in good range. If your vitamin D is 30, that's low because 32 to 100 is the range. You want to be close to 100 to get all the benefits for your immune response, for your bones. So that's why the blood test before, then making a recommendation, and the blood test after to prove corrected levels is the only real way to do it. And we do that for people that even can't get to the office if they're far away. We do a lot of telehealth visits where people can call the office, set it up. We have our chat. We send a lab to get your blood work done, or we send you prescriptions. You go to your lab. And then we have another visit over the phone to do that. And we put it all together for you. So we're doing a lot of that lately because everybody wants to have great vitamin levels.
Boom. All right. Questions answered. So far, we got a couple routes we can go. We have a nice video queued up. And then we have some spike protein stuff. So up to you, pal.
Let's go with the video.
I love it.
So this is a video of a lovely lady who's a patient. She came in with a lot of inflammatory issues, autoimmune disorder, rheumatoid, and we did stem for her, and she had really terrific result.
I've been a patient of Dr. Calapai's for several years. After looking at my last blood work, Dr. Calapai said, "We recommend that you're a good candidate to receive the stem cell therapy. I was excited because for years I was looking forward to doing it, know the benefits of it. I've seen it. I've seen other patients, so I knew the outcome would be great. Did the stem cell therapy. Within about 3 days, I would say I felt great. I could tell you within that 2-week period, I've noticed that my body changed a lot. I am no longer going to bed tired and waking up exhausted. I found that I'm energetic in the morning. The restless leg syndrome that I suffered from for years, I noticed that also went away. My fatigue went away. Started to see a lot of improvements within myself. I suffered from asthma. I could not be around anyone who smokes. After being treated with the stem cell, I realized that the cigarette doesn't bother me anymore, which was great because I always was fearful that I would have an asthma attack, which has happened in the past. I'm grateful for not having any asthma attack after doing the stem cell treatment. Over the years, I found that Dr. Calapai is very patient, and he explained everything to me, the entire process for the stem cell, the reasons we are doing it based on my blood work. Didn't expect my arthritis pain to go away, and it did. I didn't expect my back pain to go away, and it did. The asthma, I was very leery about, but I'm surprised. I knew it was going to work, so my expectations were high.
Boom.
So yeah, her results were pretty terrific, but it goes to show you that a variety of different areas in your body can be improved by your own cells going throughout your blood and getting off the train to set up shop to create result. So for people that have, damage in joints, we inject the joint. For people that have issues with any of their organs, you do intravenous. If they have lung problems, we do intravenous, and then you breathe the stem cells through a little nebulizer device topically to your lungs. So you're getting it from your blood flow to your lungs and then topically. For brain or other related or neurologic issues, we're doing intravenous, and then we'll do a nasal approach where we lay you down on the table with 2 syringes, one at a time. We drip the stem cell liquid into your nostril so it hits the back of your nasal cavity, and from there it gets into your blood flow and gets into your brain. And that's why it works so well for stroke, MS, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, visual changes, visual loss, etc. So it's probably the greatest invention in health and probably the most either ignored, overlooked, or I don't want to say vilified, but probably pushed away because, traditional approach doesn't want that to exist because it works so well. And it kind of gets people away from doing what other doctors might be doing or wanting to do. Your own cells repairing your own degeneration or damage or inflammation. So the idea is brilliant. There's no downside to taking your cells from your body, extracting them in a minute and a half, spinning them for a half hour, and putting them back into your body.
We got some questions unrelated
Sure.
that came in during the video. What is the best water to drink for intercellular hydration?
So the idea of intercellular hydration doesn't really exist. When water gets into your body, it goes in through your stomach and gets into your blood flow, and your body has the ability to balance your fluid volume. If, for example, you eat a lot of things that are concentrated and salty, etc., your body will want to have more fluid come in just to make your blood a specific osmolality again, a concentration. And when you're dehydrated, you need that fluid to get in and to bathe your cells, to go everywhere in your body. So it's not going directly inside your cells the moment it hits into your bloodstream. It'll get into your blood and be distributed everywhere. So you can see people that in some cases when you pinch their skin, and if you go to pull back and the skin is still tented, they're dehydrated. That means there's not enough fluid, within and around and underneath their skin. So that's an area that the fluid will go to. But conversely, if people take in too much concentrate, then you may damage some of your cells. Red blood cells might be damaged because they may be losing some fluid to balance out the concentration of your blood. So there's so much going on there. It's not as though water goes right into your cells and meets every cell's requirement. It'll filter out and it'll get there at some point, but that's why throughout the course of the day, you need to have a lot of water. You know, some people drink 8 glasses, 10 glasses of water a day, and people should, because you're flushing things through your kidneys. It makes it easier for your kidneys to work. And I always make the comment about Tom Brady drinking tons and tons and tons of water.
That blew my mind.
You know, and he's got such hydration and great stretching and the whole plyometrics things. You know, all the ball players in every sport get injured all the time. It seems like a drop of a hat, but he hasn't. I think that's because his stretch is so good and he's well hydrated. A good friend of mine was an MMA fighter, among other things. He's a great finance director, but he was so dehydrated when he cut weight for a fight that he tore the hamstring attachment off of the bone, you know, under his glute, because he was just too hydrated. His muscles didn't have enough hydration. So you don't want to get to that point. You want to have a lot of fluid on board. And whatever you have that's extra, your body will get rid of. I don't recommend drinking gallons of fluid at night because you'll have to wake up to go to the bathroom, but drink it throughout the entire morning. The majority of the water you should have should be morning and early afternoon.
Someone wants to know, is it BS that you shouldn't be drinking a lot of water when you're eating?
There's always been that comment of not drinking too much before you eat, because as your digestive enzymes sort of get ready and get into your stomach to break down your foods, if you're drinking too much water, you may dilute them and push them through out of your stomach into your intestines. So to some extent, I think that may be a fact. You want to have a little something, that's fine, but I wouldn't drink gallons of water before eating, because then, yeah, you're pushing those out of the stomach.
Wow.
So, but you should have some fluid, you know, with your meal, because that makes the meal break down easier and faster, and you could absorb more of the nutrients and good things from your food with the extra liquid.
I never even thought of that. I'm drinking way too much water during dinner.
Yeah, some people like to drink a lot because they feel full from it, but you may not be digesting or breaking down as well.
Someone just said that you changed their life when you explained the whole pH thing with the water. They were been lied to their whole life. So
yeah,
we love that.
More and more people are going to understand that there have been a lot of comments made by different people in different positions that are just not true, and that there have been a lot of dangerous comments made, and people have suffered as a result of it. And there are a lot of people that have been given medical recommendations without any real, true, clear descriptions and options of risks, alternatives, benefits, etc. You know, doctors are supposed to give people a complete outline of what a therapy may or may not do. And we know from recent history, and even going further back with certain types of injections, that informed consent has not been thorough. And that's led to a lot of problems and side effect and risk. So you're going to hear a great deal more about this because of the administration, and they're willing to get information out there to people and to be open. And once again, I'll say it 1,000,000 times, I'll say it 10,000,000 times. You know, thank God for RFK Jr. going out and gathering information, taking a stand, you know, showing people what the truth and what the realities are. This is what we've needed for a very, very long time. Just like we've needed to have an understanding as to why we're paying so much taxes on every stinking thing that we do. Money coming in, money going out, here, there, by this, by that. You know, I agree with what senators have said about why do you have to keep paying property taxes? You know, why do you have to keep, because this goes to the people that are spending their money on what they want to spend it on. Look at the whole USAID nightmare. That's the biggest con of the history of the world. And that's been going on for a very long time. So thank God there's an end to that now.
The chat says you will own nothing and you will be happy.
Yeah, that's what they want to do.
Yeah, that's property taxes for you.
All the taxes. The External Revenue Service, I'm a big fan of that.
What a joke. We got Preach in the chat.
Make everybody say they pay their fair share.
That's for sure.
Decrease our tax burden. We're getting strangled. We're getting choked to death.
All right, what else we got, chat? You guys are funny, by the way. Someone said, I think this is a little old this is an old comment from our YouTube chat. I missed you guys today, chat. But he said, someone said, I can't sleep without TV or a video playing on YouTube. But two hits of a joint will knock me right out.
Well, whatever works.
To each their own.
For some people, I tell them put a timer on their TV or something so that if you watch TV for 15 minutes and you fall asleep at 10, then the timer turns the TV off so that you're not hearing some crazy, super loud commercial. You ever notice that you're watching a program, the commercial comes on, it's 3 times as loud because they want to get your attention?
Should be illegal.
But do something where, if you don't want to turn off the TV yourself, that a timer will do that for you, and you won't be woken up in the middle of the night by something crazy. I used to have patients that would come in and talk about having weird dreams. And a girlfriend once, years ago, she's like, I had this really weird dream about this bald man and a lollipop. I'm like, what? And she went on and on. I'm like, oh, my God, you left the TV on last night, and you were watching Kojak. This was an old, TV series with Telly Savalas, who was an old, Greek bald actor. And, she just was having a dream about what she saw on TV while she was falling asleep. I'm like, turn the TV off. Of course, I'd never let her live that down.
Thoughts on WEF?
World Economic Forum.
Yeah. We're on Rumble today.
Yeah, Rumble's safe and clear, and we can chat about anything.
Free speech. We love it. Sorry, you do.
Super, super, super important.
We got our joint guy laughing. Bang Zoom, seeing stars. Is that a movie reference you mentioned earlier?
Bang Zoom would have to be from The Honeymooners, I think.
Yeah.
Bang Zoom, Alice to the moon.
You're usually dropping the Honeymooners reference.
Yeah, there's a lot of good references you could drop here and there. Italian food, old movies.
And I just want to say to the LFA TV crowd, we're here every Saturday, but during the week we're here Monday and Friday on our own channel. That's the Optimal Health Program. You can find us on Rumble. You can find us on YouTube, Instagram, Dr. Calapai. Check out the website, drcalapai.com. Check out what he has to offer, all the beautiful testimonials, and you could learn how incredible stem cell is, because I knew nothing about it before meeting this man.
Most people don't. It's funny, too, because people will hear what we say on the program here, or they've listened to the radio program over the years, or they'll come in and they have a friend or someone, who refers them in. And when they talk about STEM, they said, well, the only thing I knew about it was Bush made it illegal. And, back in the day, George Bush Jr. maintained a ban on aborted fetal stem cell tissue, which, 90% of the world agreed upon and banned it. You don't want to make an industry out of aborted fetal tissue. And that's what most people remember, because there was a significant conference, press conference about it. But worldwide, they still use umbilical cord or amniotic fluid, which has been thought to be a good source, but they're not your cells, so your body could or would reject it. You don't know the genetics that donor has. You don't know infection history. How old is the cord? How long is it frozen? How many cells die? You don't know anything about it. That's why it's not allowed here in this country. What will be better than your own cells? Nothing, your own cells. So that makes the most sense. A lot of new buzz lately about exosomes. We could talk about that for a minute. Exosomes are components and stimulators of different, sequences in your body. And it looks like, as they may play along with stem cells, that they can enhance repair, decrease inflammation. So we're looking into this heavily. I have a couple of feelers out there to companies that have the product, a couple of doctors that are using the product. So we're looking to see if there's an advantage to using some of these things, exosomes, topically, for hair or for skin. But we'll come back within another week or so on Saturday here, and we'll talk more about it, because I've got to dig into it and get all the literature I can on it before I can come out and say what the consensus is. But it looks like there's some pretty great result with it.
Ooh. Stay tuned.
Same bat time, same bat channel. I don't know if you remember that one. Some people will. TV shows were really good back in the day.
Yeah. So is, just Batman.
Batman. Great show.
What
Monsters.
a classic.
Great show. I mean, these were just great shows. I don't think you could have shows that were that great
And
now.
I sound old, but like everything sucks now. I'm sorry. It's true.
And I have this conversation all the time. People say, oh, movies were better and this was better and cartoons were better, and they were, and, all sorts of things were better. In part, it's probably everyone's brain's need for nostalgia and remembering things that they loved back then because they seem so much greater and better over time. But it's true. We love to have a root or a stronghold in great memories that we had when we were younger. And I talk about playing sports with everybody in the neighborhood. We spoke about it yesterday. It's just the way that it was. There was so much to enjoy back then. Every kid in the neighborhood, everybody enjoyed getting together and playing whatever we played. And nobody was left out, and there were just kids all over the place. There's one funny story, which I have so many funny stories. So there are a couple of guys in our neighborhood who are a little bit older, a year or two older than myself. So there's, let's say, 4 or 5 guys that were older, and there are 5 or 6 that were my age, and a few that were younger. And the guys who were a little bit older would set up the teams and, play every kind of sport. And if there were a lot of kids, we would have different teams. And if there are only a few kids we can get together, we would do whatever we could. So one of the funnier times, and I recently spoke with my friend who lives in Florida, who was one of the older kids, setting the teams up. And, let's say we had 4 or 5 guys. You couldn't really play out, a whole game, but we would throw the football around. And at one point, we'd have one guy as a receiver, one guy playing against them on defense, a center, some guy trying to get to the quarterback, and the center would block him, and the quarterback, and whatever. Running back. There was, I know my family's listening. I know they're already laughing. There was one guy who was a little bit shorter than the rest of us. He was one of the older group, but he was a little shorter. And he had like full chest hair. He was like the hairy kid in the neighborhood. But he shouldn't have been that hairy because he wasn't, 20 years old. We were all probably 12 to 14 or 15 or 16 or something. And he was gung-ho as being the guy that he just needed to get in and belong, and he always did. But a couple times, he wanted to be the running back, and it was his choice. And if one of the older guys was or I was the quarterback, you hand the guy the ball, and he'd have to get through the line of 4 older guys who were way bigger than him. And he would either dive or whatever and try to get across the line. He would never really make it unless they let him make it. But they would plow him into the ground. But he loved it. He would get up and he loved it. And it was so much fun because, it was all camaraderie. But it was so funny that he would just go to the nth degree just to be able to get in and do that. And of course, towards the end of the grueling effect, they, let him get over the goal line, and he would be exuberant, ecstatic. It was like he won gold medal in the Olympics. But yeah, it was just, we did a lot of fun things back in the day. I know my mom and my sisters are laughing now. But yeah, that was connection. That was camaraderie. That was great stuff. I wouldn't change that for $1 million.
Yeah. And the chat's just saying it was just so much better back then. The old shows, 1950s Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of that stuff was a little crazy too. You see it now, you're like, wow, what they got away with.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like, did I sign up? Did I approve this? Is this legal?
Yeah. I love the one where Bugs Bunny's, Muggsy is trying to hide from the police. And you got the, obviously, Irish policeman trying to find Muggsy. Is Muggsy in there? No. Would I do this if Muggsy was in here? Would I put him into the oven and light a match? All right, Rabbit. Where? Oh, it's Rocky. All right, Rabbit. Where's Rocky? Where is he hiding? Yeah, I mean, I remember that whole scene as if it was yesterday, and it was probably 50 some odd years ago. But yeah, I love all that stuff. And so any chance you can get to watch that stuff, I laugh. I laugh like a lunatic. All righty.
Chat's
Awesome.
relaxed.
Chat is chill.
Nice show.
Thank you so much for calling in today and listening. Hope we had a ton of people out there listening. Again, give us a call at the office, 516-794-0404. Website is drcalapai.com, CALAPAI.com. And we would love to have you send us a note. We have so many of them. We're trying to get through as many and answer as many questions as we can and set you up with consults, telehealth, RPM, remote monitoring, especially for Medicare patients. Send you home with a blood pressure cuff, glucometer, smartwatch, track your vitals, prevent your body from going off the deep end. A lot of good things happening. RTM now is also remote therapeutic monitoring, a variety of other things we can track, a whole list of different diagnoses that we can do this for. So we want to get you up and interested and learn about it. So God bless you all. We'll be back here Monday and Friday and again next Saturday here in the amazing studio, the Optimal Health Program. Bye-bye now.